after that introduction, I better come close. But ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, President Sandoval, faculty and staff, family and friends, and the reason we're all here, the 2024 graduating class for Asian Americans and Pacific Island students here at Fresno State. It is a privilege to be here with you, and thank you for the honor of being your keynote speaker. I'm hopeful that sharing some of my thoughts about life and my experiences as an athlete will encourage you as you embark onto the next journey of your lives. Sports and athletics have been part of my life for 5 decades, and much of my success in life is directly attributed to my involvement in sports. My name is Manasseh Jesse Sapolu, and I'm a Pacific Islander of Samoan ancestry. The Samoan Islands are comprised of 2 separate entities: the independent state of Samoa and American Samoa. One is an independent country, and the other is a territory of the United States of America. I was born in the independent state of Samoa, in the village of To'amua in 1961. In the summer of 1970, when I was 9 years old, my parents decided to move our family to America for a chance at a better education and hopefully an opportunity at a brighter future. Growing up in the islands, you had 2 choices of travel between independent Samoa and American Samoa. It was either a 10-hour boat ride or a 40-minute flight on the only airplane available, which was a 20-passenger plane. As our family prepared to move, my mother said to me, "Just, you know, when we get to American Samoa, the airplane that will fly us to Hawaii is a big plane, and they call it a jet." When we landed in American Samoa, and I saw the Pan American Airlines jet for the first time, I thought, wow, this must be the plane that flies everyone around the world. We flew to Honolulu, and when we landed, I was surprised to see 6 more jets. Then we flew to Los Angeles, and upon landing, I saw about 15 more jets. It was then that I realized the world is a lot bigger than I had ever imagined. In Samoa, life was simple. Everyone lived off the land and the ocean. We planted our own foods. We raised our own pigs and chickens. People from our village fished in the ocean every day. And now, in what seemed to be a blink of an eye, I'm in Los Angeles, feeling overwhelmed with how big America is. It was exciting to see all the lights and the cars on the freeways. At the same time, I was worried and anxious about the unknown. I was worried about the start of school and how difficult it was going to be, dealing with the challenge of overcoming the language barrier and the possibility of being made fun of by students because I couldn't speak a word of English. It was an uncertain period in my life. This is why I feel it's important for me to share my humble beginnings and my journey with you, including the years of struggles and insecurities. Since retiring from football, 2 of the most asked questions of football fans are, what goes through your mind, Jesse, as you wait in the locker room before a Super Bowl game? And are your Super Bowl championships the biggest accomplishments of your life? My answer to the first question is, I'm sitting in the locker room asking myself, how in the world did I get here? Because just 12 years earlier, I saw a jet for the first time. I was amazed at how many cars were on the freeway, and I couldn't sleep the night before the first day of school. And now I'm a few minutes away from playing on television in front of over 100 million people. Playing in front of large crowds under intense pressure taught me at a young age how to embrace competition and overcome adversity. I played for some of the best coaches in the history of football. Their goal is to train you under various stressful scenarios to determine if you have what it takes, especially when you get to the NFL because of the financial investments they've made in you. It's the most important attribute I've learned over the years from playing sports. Understanding that when you're confronted with a challenge and you go through a period of struggle, you find a way to keep believing, because believing in yourself is a cornerstone of achieving great things. A favorite quote of mine over the years is, "The will to win is important, but the will to prepare yourself to win is what separates champions from the rest." Let me repeat that. The will to win is important, but the will to prepare yourself to win is what separates champions from the rest. When a team dominates its era, the sports media and fans label it dynasty. Very few teams in the history of the NFL can claim that status. There's only a handful of organizations in football that have accomplished it. I was blessed and fortunate enough to be a part of the 49er era that went 5-0 in Super Bowl games. There's a certain standard that we had to meet to be able to consistently contend for the Super Bowl. We simply call it the 49er standard. Our offensive line coach, Bob McKittrick, would always remind and prepare us before every playoff run that there are 32 teams in the National Football League, and each team has a standard, but only one standard will be good enough to win the championship. Our mindset was to focus on one play at a time and approach each game as if our lives depended on it. Anything less will not be good enough. You face a challenge by putting yourself into a champion's mindset, a mindset of understanding and accepting the fact that you don't have a lot of choices. It's understanding the work and sacrifice that's necessary to get the job done. Becoming the best doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, a hard process, and sometimes a long process. The discipline that's required to focus and keep your eyes on the prize is not easy. There's a lot of obstacles in the road. One trait all champions have and all champions possess is extraordinary resilience. No matter what's thrown at them, no matter how big the odds are against them, they find a way because they never, ever give up. Yes, I've won 4 Super Bowls, but I've also lost 4 NFC Championship games. That means I've had my heart broken many a times during my career. I think about those 4 losses today more than the 4 championships that I have at home. The other question fans always ask me, are your Super Bowls your biggest accomplishment? I assume the majority of fans think so. Make no mistake, I'm very proud of my championships, but it's not my biggest accomplishment. I am most proud of the fact that all 4 of my children became college graduates. You're probably thinking, thank you. You're probably thinking, Jesse's just saying that because he's here speaking to us. But I've answered this question many times. I knew early on in life that I was a pretty good athlete, but I wasn't sure what kind of father I was going to be, because the life of a professional athlete is a selfish one. I missed a lot of important events with my children during my football career. I wasn't at home as much as the fathers who worked 8 hours a day and came home to their families every day. The commitment necessary to keep your job in the NFL is like no other. People joke about it all the time. The NFL stands for not for long. The financial reward is great, but many of my colleagues over the years have paid a price in terms of family life. This is why it's my biggest accomplishment. I'm sure it wasn't easy for them not to see me at their school plays because I'm playing football on a Monday night. or waking up on Christmas morning and realizing your dad is playing football in Green Bay, Wisconsin, or watching your dad play on TV on Thanksgiving Day. You miss a lot of special events and important holidays with your family. For all of them to graduate from college is truly a proud moment for me as a father and a big accomplishment for our family. And if I'm proud of them, then you know exactly how I feel about you. I am very proud of you and your accomplishments we're celebrating here today. Today is not the end, but the beginning of how you can change your life. So go out and set your championship standard with a never die attitude that can positively change the plight of your family and your community. Billionaire Steve Jobs once said, "There is one destination we all share, and that is one day we're all going to die." When you step back and you realize time in this world is limited, then you won't worry about the consequences if you fail. Then you won't worry about what other people think or say about you. And you'll have the courage to follow your heart and accomplish your dreams. We live in a country that gives us an opportunity to be whatever you aspire to be. And if this kid from Samoa can overcome his struggles and insecurities and find a way to become a champion, then there's no doubt in my mind you can do it better. It's been an honor to be in your presence for your special day. Congratulations once again, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Looks like all of you guys are starting to stand. Let's give him a round of applause. Stand and give him a round of applause. Thank you, Jesse.